What's going on, guys? It's Wade. Just got off the river. Salmon flies are here. It's June. By the time you're seeing this, by the time I've been able to put this together, salmon flies are probably already over on the Madison. But we had a great day today. So I have invited Fish, Wildlife, and Parks fisheries technician Anthony Zenga up here from Dillon. He was hired last year to track sick fish in the Big Hole, Beaverhead, Ruby, Jefferson, and Madison rivers. Over the last 4 years, we've seen these fish with fungal infections or bulging eyes or holes in the top of their head in May and more so in June. So now that we're going into that window, what do we do when we find one? I want to make sure I don't disseminate any misinformation, and I want you all to hear it from the horse's mouth about what we are supposed to do if we encounter a sick fish. Hopefully we don't see very many of these this summer, but I do hope they get the one or ones that they need to be able to identify what's going on here and work toward fixing the crick, as they say. I see him pulling up my driveway, and we'll be right back in. Well, thank you so much for coming up, Anthony.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
This is Anthony Zenga. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yep.
And he is the fisheries, you tell me what you are.
So I'm a fish technician for Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Just got hired on in December, and my primary role here is going to be responding to reports about sick fish on some of the rivers here in southwest Montana. So I'll be focused on the Big Hole, the Beaverhead, the Ruby, and a little bit of the Madison as well. The symptom we're most interested in is the thing going on in the head, the lesions. Fungus, typically you'd see them around spawning season when they're stressed out. But yeah, like you said, seeing fungused up fish May, June, especially when you're getting stuff maybe on the upper portions of the body, things that they don't really use to dig their redds during spawning would be a bit alarming too. The fungus can cover up any wounds or infections that they have as well. The head lesions are the most important. If you've got a really fungused up fish too, we'd be interested in getting a hold of that as well. So I guess there'd be an optimal order of operations on things we could do with the fish. The best being that if you're recreating on one of these rivers and stumble across one of these fish, if you could give me a call, my phone number is 406-596-5175. We'll probably post it here as well. And hopefully, if there's any cell signal where y'all are at, I can get out to you, get my hands on the fish, and get the best possible samples that I can and send it out to the folks who are going to look at it. However, with service being limited and other factors that may constrain my ability to get out to the fish, bringing it into one of the FWP offices is also helpful. We can still get some useful information from those fish, even if they've been dead and aren't necessarily fresh. And then at the bare minimum, if any of this isn't possible, taking a picture of the fish and noting where you found it, so we can better inform and catalog where we're seeing these fish to potentially help efforts where we'll do some targeted sampling to get these fish on our own to get more samples.
Are we allowed to try and keep a fish alive and get it to you, get it to cell service?
Absolutely, yeah. That'd be helpful.
You're located in Dillon. If folks aren't going through Dillon and heading back through Butte, is it okay to contact somebody in Butte and drop off, or does it need to come to you in Dillon?
You can absolutely reach out to the Butte office, and we can coordinate on either me going up there to get it or vice versa, for sure.
Okay. Do you know at FWP, as a body of scientists, what these lesions are?
What we do know is that we're not dealing with anything that our fish health folks typically sample for with hatchery trout or whatnot. So nothing on that alley is going on. And we do have a committee of over 30 people, both in Montana and across the country, working and collaborating to develop protocols and figure out what's going on with these fish.
Does this seem to be pretty much the Jefferson Basin and a bit in the lower Madison?
It pretty much seems to be in those two basins.
So how can we help on a daily basis? What do you want someone who's going out to the Big Hole River or the Beaverhead or the Ruby or the Jefferson or the Lower Madison to do? Where should they look for these fish if they want to help?
So I guess I'd say wherever you are recreating on some of these rivers, just keep an eye out. You may see fish close to the banks or eddying up, maybe in an irrigation ditch, that are displaying these symptoms that we're looking for, and typically they are pretty lethargic at that point. So if you do see one of these fish, if it's not too much of an effort, trying to capture them, and like I said, going through that process, whether that be me going out there and getting to them, or them making their way to an FWP office, or simply just taking pictures and letting us know where you found them, would be helpful.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate you taking the time. For all our sakes, I hope we don't find very many for you this summer, but I hope you get the samples you need to help solve this issue. And if we do see them in increasing number, I hope we quickly find out what's causing it.
I do too. Appreciate you having me out here and informing folks of what they could do to help us.
Thanks so much.
Sweet.